Want to know how I was able to raise my virtual assistant prices from $25 an hour to $70 an hour? Surprise! It's by niching down. I'm going to show you exactly how I did it in this video. I'm Abbey Ashley. I teach virtual assistants how to start and scale their own online business from scratch. If you don't already subscribe to my channel, what are you waiting for? I give all sorts of free advice here, so you want to be notified when I release new content. Make sure you subscribe and then click the bell to be notified every time I release new content. I have an online community of over 130,000 virtual assistants. Shameless plug, you can join us for free by going to thevirtualsavvy.com/community. But in this community, I get asked all the time, Abby, should I niche down or shouldn't I? And so I'm gonna tell you what I believe is the best way to niche down. Now, we always hear the riches are in the niches. Niches, what do you say? Let me know in the comments. I think I say niche unless if I'm using the quote, riches are in the niches is like the only time I say niche. But I'm from Missouri and people say washcloth here, so you know, it's whatever you want. So what does that saying actually mean? Well, there is definitely truth to it. If you are able to provide more specific services to a more specific audience and you are able to provide custom solutions, then by all means, you can definitely raise your prices. So in this video, I want to talk about the different ways to niche down and how to decide whether it's time for you to niche down or not. But first, let me know in the comments, have you niched down your services already as a virtual assistant or freelancer? If you have, let me know your niche in the comments below. And if you're like, Abby, I don't even have a VA business yet, that's okay. Just go ahead and introduce yourself. I'd love to say hi. Okay, so there are 3 ways to niche down your services as a virtual assistant or honestly as any kind of freelancer, right? The 3 ways are by service, industry, or both. Let me explain. Let's say I'm a general virtual assistant. I am providing all sorts of services and I'm really providing them to any type of business owner that will hire me. Honestly, I think this is a great way to start out. We will talk about this in a moment, but I think starting off as a general VA is what 99% of us should do. But when we're ready to niche down, the 3 ways you can do it are by service, industry, or both. Service, meaning, okay, instead of providing all sorts of services to all business owners, I'm still going to provide services to any and all business owners, right? But I'm going to specify what service that I do. This is actually exactly what I did. When I raised my rates from that $20, $30 an hour up to $70 an hour, it's because I discovered a love for copywriting. Now, I wasn't a trained copywriter. I actually had no idea I even had this skill until I started offering general virtual assistants. And I had a few people ask me to write emails or ebooks for them. And I discovered, oh my gosh, I love this and I'm actually pretty good at it. So again, I niche down by that first category, by service. I went from calling myself a virtual assistant to calling myself a copywriter. Now, the next way to niche down is to niche down by industry. And I see this happen all the time, and I think it's amazing. If you have a specific connection to an industry, then why not go ahead and use those connections to really target an industry specifically? So maybe you're going to do a general virtual assistant business for real estate agents, right? That's called a REVA, a real estate VA. Maybe you have connections to a big author community, right? And so you know a lot of writers, and for one reason or another, maybe you worked for a publishing company, and so you want to be a real estate for authors, or maybe you used to be a wedding photographer, so you know that industry inside and out, and so you become a virtual assistant for wedding professionals, right? These are industry specific. So again, I'm maybe doing more general services, but my niche is really, really specific. Now I'm going to stop the video really quickly because I see people make this mistake a lot of times, is where they niche down, especially by industry. Like, I feel like this happens more often than not, that people are like, ooh, I would love to work for real estate agents, or I would love to work for authors, or I'd love to work for health professionals, or, you know, those in the MLM industry, right? But they have no connection to that industry. And sometimes we think just by choosing a really specific niche that we're just going to suddenly get more clients. But I actually have found that for a lot of us, that actually limits us in the beginning if we don't already have a connection to that industry. So again, if you know 100 real estate agents, please, from day one, go ahead and niche down to real estates. But But if you don't already know a lot of people in a specific industry and know how to reach those people, how to target those people, then you may want to wait to choose that niche. I think of my very good friend, Thais. Thais and I actually met in college. We went to school together in Florida. And a few years ago, she reached out to me and said, Abby, I think I want to be a virtual assistant. She was having to travel all the time for work, be away from her kids, and she wanted something that was flexible that she could grow herself. Now, she scaled her business to $2 million per year, but it didn't start that way. She actually started just by offering general services to any small business owner, right? And what happened is that she got a client that was in the roofing industry, and she loved this client, like absolutely loved this client. Now, she had no experience in the roofing industry, right? She didn't own a roofing company, but she loved working with this client. She literally just said, how do I get more people like you? Where do people like you hang out, right? Well, this person said, here are the conferences, here are the podcasts, here are the places you should go if you want more roofing clients. She ended up getting more and more and eventually completely transformed her entire business to niche down by industry. So she's literally a virtual assistant agency for roofing companies now, making millions of dollars per year. I always say this, don't go out and find your niche. Let your niche find you. Start off general and then niche down when the time is right, when you find either a service or an industry that you absolutely love. Now, the very last way that you can niche down is by service and industry, right? So we talked about niching down just by service. You can also niche down just by industry, or you can niche down by service and industry. This could look like a lot of different things. Maybe you provide just transaction coordination for real estate agents, or maybe you provide just social media services for those in the health industry, or maybe you do photo editing for wedding photographers, right? And again, this is an amazing thing to do, but I see so many people pigeonhole themselves because they niche down too quick, too soon. So let this be a process. Let it take time as you find more and more clients that you love, more and more services that you love. Yes, niche down more. And again, this goes back to why would I niche down at all, Abby? If you say it's harder, well, you can actually charge more the more specific that you get. Let's say I decide to niche down and become just a web designer, right? Like I fall in love with Squarespace. I take a few Squarespace courses. I build my own site on Squarespace and a couple of sites for my clients. And I'm like, I love this. I'm just going to build Squarespace websites, right? I've niched down by service. Now, after I've worked with a few clients, I think, you know, my absolute favorite type of client, like I had a New York Times best-selling author and I designed their book website and I was obsessed with it. Like I loved it. They were my best client. Maybe I'll try this, right? Like what if I experiment with being a web designer for New York Times bestselling authors? Now, again, I need to at least have some experience in that, right? Like I have one client I've already worked with, but like, what if I start positioning? I change a few words on my website, I position a little bit and I say, you know what? I'm really going to try this. Or I build like a separate landing page. I keep my general VA, right? And I dip a toe into doing this, right? And what happens is I can craft my messaging. I can craft my pain points. I can have a deliverable system that is like, this is the best way to display your website if you're a New York Times best-selling author. Do you think that I could charge more to that New York Times bestselling author than I could for, you know, somebody that's just getting started with their food truck? Probably so. And so again, this is like just an example, but you can see how if you're able to really niche down and provide a specific pain point, and especially if you can get results for your clients as well, and you have that and that begins to stack on top of each other, how you can charge more and more. Is niching down for everyone? No. And if you remember what I said at the beginning of this video, I think that 99% of us should start out as generalists. That means I provide just general admin services for any small business owner. And then over time, let's pivot. And then we niche down by industry or so, and then maybe we pivot again, and maybe we pivot back, right? I think that most of us need to get this concept of the art of the pivot. Like, guys, this is what business is all about. If we could just learn to not like, I'm going to throw away everything I did. Like if you get a new client and you love them, don't get rid of all your clients. I actually made this mistake. When I became a copywriter, I actually like got rid of all my general VA clients because I'm like, I'm a copywriter. Forget it. I don't want to do general virtual assistants. And you know what happened to my revenue? whoop, it tanked, right? And then I had to build it back up over time. And if I could go back and do it again, I would have continued offering those services, built up my other thing. And once this got better than that, then slowly start to decline this one, right? You see where I'm going here? So don't do what I did, right? You're learning from my successes and my failures. I would actually go back and I would just do this small. Don't throw away what you have. Be like, I've rebranded now. I'm completely new. Like just tiny little pivots is what's going to get you where you want to go and where you're supposed to be at the end of the day in your business. So when you niche down, no, you don't have to fire your current clients. Like, please actually don't, unless if there's one that's just absolutely driving you crazy, but don't just go and scrap all your current clients just because you have this new niche that you're excited about. Just do this slowly. And I think that you're going to get the best results. Now you might be asking like, this sounds awesome, Abby, but like, I don't even know how to niche down. Like I would love to maybe start learning something like Squarespace or learning something like copywriting, but like there's so much out there. How do I even know where to start? Well, I think the very best place to start is with our virtual assistant personality quiz. It's a free quiz you can take, and it kind of can tell you what your personality is. So you can start to think about, ooh, maybe I would like this or this, right? So if you become the helper, if that's your personality type, then it's going to talk about tools like Dubsado or how to do email management for clients. I mean, these are the type of services that you would probably enjoy as the helper personality, right? There's the creative personality type, and maybe you would be better fit as a Pinterest manager, right? This quiz is actually going to tell you, so you can go to thevirtualsavvy.com/quiz in order to take that for free. Now, if you want access to over 40 tech and industry trainings for virtual assistants, you can also go to savvyvault.com. This is our monthly membership where you not only get access to courses on how to niche down, but we talk about raising your prices. You get weekly coaching for your virtual assistant business. So we come in and help you craft better messaging, better marketing, getting more clients. We have job opportunities that are posted only inside of our paid community. So go to thesavvyvault.com if that's something you are interested in. Okay, I turned the heat up to like 80 degrees, I think. So I think this video is over. That's okay, because you guys have some work to do. You're going to go take the quiz. You're going to decide on your virtual assistant niche, and you're going to get out there and you're going to start getting more clients, right? Say, I'm in the comments below if you're in, and I'll see you in the next video.